In today's NBA, we always see teams make moves to try to put their teams in the best position to win. Years later, those moves may come back to bite them and put them in bad situations. Currently, there are multiple teams that are stuck in a black hole and can't get out. My selections for what teams I choose in this video isn't strictly about wins and losses, but rather about what their future looks like, the front office, what their current roster looks like, what are their assets, and a little bit of how much they're winning. What's going on, guys? Bucket Media back with another video. And today, we're talking about the top 5 teams in the NBA that are in the worst situations. Before getting started, I want to thank the sponsor of today's videos, Fanatics. Fanatics is the #1 website in the world to get your favorite NBA team's gear from. With 2023 just kicking in, Fanatics is offering some great deals on your favorite players' jerseys and your favorite team's gear, from hoodies, pants, hats, and so much more. Make sure to check out the special link in my description to see if you find any great deals for you and to help support my channel as we continue to grow. If you have any video suggestions or requests, please drop a comment so I can put it on the list and create it. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel and ensure you don't miss out on any great basketball content like this. Also, like the video and comment on what NBA team do you think is in the worst situation currently, and also if your favorite team is on the list. With that being said, let's dive straight into the video. At 5, I have the Chicago Bulls. Last year, the Bulls shocked everyone, coming out of nowhere and dominating the Eastern Conference, led by their 2 stars, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. But ever since Lonzo Ball got injured last season, everything has been going downhill for them. The Bulls put it all on the line to win by giving up multiple of their future first-round picks. The Nikola Vucevic trade they made with the Magic by giving up Wendell Carter Jr. and the 7th pick, which was used to take Franz Wagner, is starting to look pretty bad as Vucevic is regressing slowly each year. They also don't have that much depth, and their young talent, Kobe White, Patrick Williams, and Dalen Terry, haven't been performing well either, and have been pretty inconsistent. Ayo Dosunmu has been pretty solid in his second year in NBA action, but that's about it. LaVine has been inconsistent as well, dropping 40 points on some nights off good efficiency and some games where he can't hit a shot. While DeRozan has still been sensational, he's starting to age, and the smart thing for the Bulls to do would be to trade him. Even though they just built this core less than 2 years ago, I think they should trade all their players and restart completely. Trade DeRozan and LaVine while they're in their primes and get great draft capital and some nice young players out of them, as well as trading Vucevic to a team desperate for a big who can score. Building through the draft seems to be their best option currently, with them holding the 10th seed and not looking to be anywhere near playoff contention anytime soon. But the thing with the Bulls is they won't do this. They won't trade their 2 stars, they won't blow it up, and they won't maximize the assets they have now. So because of that, I put them in this list with the worst situational NBA teams, because they're going to keep trying to win now, even though they're not ready to make a push yet, instead of building through the draft, and they'll lose. So because of that, I put them on this list. And although the Bulls aren't in as bad of a situation as the rest of these teams, they definitely aren't in the brightest spot right now. At 4, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. If I made this video 6 months ago, there would have been no way the Timberwolves would have been on this list. But the moves they have made and production of their players have really put them in the wrong direction. It all starts with the Rudy Gobert trade, where they gave up essentially 5 first-round picks over the course of the next 7 NBA drafts. This might go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history, for the simple fact that the Timberwolves are currently the 11th seed. Whenever you give up 4 first-round picks that are potentially lottery picks, you better get a superstar in return. Instead, the Wolves got Gobert, a guy who's averaging just 13 points a game and isn't bringing that elite-level defense that you would hope from a guy that you blew the bank for. On top of that, the Timberwolves gave up the 22nd pick in last year's draft, Walker Kessler, who's been great for the Jazz so far. The Wolves also gave up most of their depth in guys like Patrick Beverley and Malik Beasley. Plus, the fit with Gobert next to Towns never made any sense to begin with. That might have something to do with his current underwhelming season. He's only averaging the 2nd most points of his NBA career, only in front of his rookie season. D'Angelo Russell has also been solid so far, but doesn't fit the timeline of their only bright spot on this team, which is Anthony Edwards. Edwards is the only good thing about the Wolves currently, but even with his playing style, I don't know how long he can hold up with playing close to 40 minutes a game and carrying this Wolves team before injuries start coming in. Overall, the Timberwolves are in a very rough spot. With almost no first-round picks until 2030, an aging team, and a young star who doesn't have the most sustainable game, it's easy to realize why the Timberwolves might be in one of the toughest situations in the NBA. At 3, I have the New York Knicks. If there are 2 words that could describe why the Knicks will be stuck in mediocrity for a long time, it would be James Dolan. Dolan consistently has made bad moves after bad moves for over a decade and have made some moves that were alright, but at best, the Knicks were always a first round exit in the playoffs. Compared to the rest of the teams on this list, the Knicks might have the most assets, but until they get a good general manager running the show, it won't change anything. Their best player, Julius Randle, is at best a third option on a championship contender. And while he is playing pretty good this year, it won't cut it alone. Being that RJ Barrett is in his 4th year in the NBA, I expected him to make a massive jump and help push the needle for this Knicks team, but even he has regressed from last year. Jalen Brunson has been better than I expected, but still, their core isn't enough to compete. You may be saying in the comments, how are the Knicks 3rd on the list if they are currently in the playoff race, have all their picks, and have a nice core already? That's because the last time the Knicks made a 2nd round appearance in the postseason was over 10 years ago, and before that was in the 90s. The Knicks have showed us that even with a good roster, they can't compete for a championship, which at the end of the day is the biggest goal, especially when you're in the most marketable city in all of basketball. So while they may be playing decent now and bust the 8th seed, the Knicks are nowhere near close to contending for a championship. And while they have the assets and everything needed to make something big happen, the one thing standing in their way is their front office. At 2, I have the Washington Wizards. Similar to the Knicks, it seems as if the Wizards have been stuck in mediocrity for ages. Since John Wall started regressing, it seems as if it's time to blow up and start a rebuild. 6 years later, they still haven't done it and haven't made any moves to push them into the right direction. Right now, the Wizards are looking to build around Bradley Beal and giving him a supermax deal and trying to surround him with other good players. To be fair, Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma have been amazing this season from an individual standpoint, but even that isn't enough to push the Wizards into a play-in spot. The Wizards just keep on getting 10th overall picks in the NBA draft and taking guys who don't make any difference and are somewhat disappointing. Johnny Davis is a perfect example of that this year, but with the emergence of some of their other players, if there's been any time in recent history for the Wizards to blow it up, it's now. Trade Porzingis, trade Kuzma, trade Beal, and trade the rest of their roster and build through the draft. They don't have the cap space to sign another star. Washington isn't a city where stars want to come play anyways, and the only way they get a star is by trading one of the 3 players I mentioned, which just isn't worth it. So while everyone is at their best, it would be ideal to max out the value they have right now and get the right pieces in return. But once again, similar to the Knicks, they just won't do it. The front office thinks they have a chance at contending now, which is absolutely delusional, and because of that, they'll be stuck in mediocrity like this for the future going forward. The Wizards definitely have the potential and can easily build something great with the assets they have. But when you look at their front office, they clearly aren't on the same page and aren't looking to start a rebuild. Finally, at number 1, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. For obvious reasons, the Lakers are in a very bad place right now. Coming off of winning a championship just 3 years ago, it's hard to believe that they're on pace to go 2 seasons in a row without making the playoffs, while still having LeBron James and Anthony Davis. As we all know by now, the Russell Westbrook trade was a horrible one, because not only did they give up good players for him, but because he's literally made the Lakers a worse team. They're in a really sticky situation right now, because both last year and most likely this year, when not making the playoffs, they don't own either of their own first-round picks. Plus, the Pelicans can either take the Lakers' 2024 or 2025 first-round picks, meaning that they can't compensate for their losses. Now they're stuck in a hole, because you have LeBron who you can't trade. And it makes sense to try to build a win-now team if the Lakers don't have any of their future picks. But they don't have enough cap space to sign anybody, and don't have any assets to trade for anyone, leaving them with essentially the same roster they have. With LeBron James just turning 38 and Anthony Davis being one of the most injury-prone stars in the league, when they're off the floor, it leaves the Lakers with nobody else but minimum contract players. The only sign of hope I see is this offseason. Russell Westbrook is the start of this whole mess, and he'll be an unrestricted free agent this summer. And with most of the Lakers rosters on expiring contracts, they might have a chance to start fresh and build a nice roster that fits with LeBron. I think something that could be also pretty smart for the Lakers is to try and snag some guys in the second round of this upcoming draft who could possibly help them win now. But both of those scenarios just seem to be wishful thinking, and the reality is the Lakers are stuck in mediocrity until 2024 to 2025, which is likely when LeBron will leave the Lakers to join his son Bronny James, wherever he gets drafted to. It'll be interesting to see how everything plays out though. The whole point of this video wasn't to bash on your favorite team if one of these teams might be your favorite, but rather is to discuss the 5 most mediocre NBA teams right now. It's pretty rough for these teams. Past trades and bad front offices are the cause of all this, but the best thing that could help most of these teams is to just wait it out and let time do its thing to wash their mistakes away. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It is the best way to support me and help this channel grow, and I appreciate you so much if you're a returning or new subscriber. Make sure to check out the Fanatics store link in the description to find some exclusive and great deals before they expire and help support the channel. Stay tuned because we have a big announcement coming soon. If you haven't already, make sure to join the Discord link in the description, like the video, and comment on any video suggestions for the future or anything I could have done better. Also, comment on what teams you guys think is in the worst situation right now and how they could fix it. Let's get a great basketball conversation started. I'll see you guys on the next video and have a blessed day. Peace.